All right, so I had to do an adaptive lesson plan, and I took the lesson In Hiding from the Diary of Anne Frank, and just went through and I used the IEP I'd used before. Julie, she's 8th grade. Her primary diagnosis is autism with intellectual delays, and just went through and looked at what were the strengths of it, the weaknesses, what could I tie the state standards to, the overview. But we also had to take a piece of I've Got This Kid. And so again, we talk about maintaining strong, trusting relationships. And that's really the essential in what we do every day. If these kids don't trust us and we don't have predictable staff, predictable routines, solid reinforcement systems, and we're consistent in our reinforcement system, whether that be give yourself an A token because you have a nice, safe, calm body, or give yourself a B token because we're not biting ourselves. We have to be consistent with that. And in the I've Got a Kid piece that I've did to foster the relationships, I prioritize consistent routines, clear expectations, and positive reinforcement. But we acknowledge the strengths and interest. My student really likes art, music, hands-on learning. And when kids are, especially Julie, feels safe, she is safe or even regulated. She's more apt to be motivated. We also try really hard to honor any kind of communication in our classroom, whether it's leave me alone or those pieces. And it is critical for autonomy, and that's number one. These are middle schoolers. My goal is that we get them out. We are not here to coddle them. We're not here to baby them. We have got to give them the skills that they can consistently use across any. They can use it in the hallway. They can use it in the bathroom. They can use it in the gym. And so, again, reflecting on those 4 primary domains, open-mindedness. We are always continuously adapting instructional practices to meet individual needs, with visual support, structured routines, flexible pacing. But one of the things with the open-mindedness is we always have to look at we can adapt it, but are we adapting it because she's trying to get out of it? And so regardless of what the behavior is, we still finish the task. We may have to look at how we give it to them the next time and those pieces, but we don't get out of doing things. So there, in this class, I have quite a few kids that are on different levels. So there isn't a single approach that we do. And honestly, some days, if we know a kid's coming in hot, as I like to say, we may look at, are we going to provide a little bit more support? And it may be just in proximity. We're not doing these things for them. And that student may need a little bit more reinforcement at a faster pace. We do that too if we need to. So again, self-reflection, we do that. I do that all the time. You have to in this job because what works one day might not work the next. And the curiosity, we talked about in this module about universal learning designs, such as explicit instruction, engagement-based supports. And I didn't realize actually when I went through, because I really wasn't sure what universal designs was, but how much we just use that naturally. We do that in because of the nature of our program for all kids. And that was one of the questions that I got kind of, one of the points I lost was, how do you incorporate this for all your kids? And I never thought to kind of explicitly say it, but we use it all the way. And again, the educational equality for me is really, really big. I mean, these kids, just because they are at a special day school, they need to have meaningful learning opportunities. And support's necessary. And so Julie does have accommodations such as visual supports, extended time, chunked instruction, and we use the attainment curriculum, so it's grade level modified curriculum. And I will pull things from other places to make sure that one of the things with our curriculum is I don't feel like one page of learning about agriculture is enough for these kids. So doing a lot of those pieces of pulling. So again, I have SMART goals, and to keep those SMART goals going, consistency and implementation. So maintaining predictable routines, and part of that is we do the same thing pretty much every day. Friday's a little different, but I've got the iPad. My staff will start and get those things going. Their reinforcement systems are very clear. The wording is very clear on how to support emotional regulation and engagement. We do make data-driven decisions. You are the one that taught me how to take data. We take unsafe behavior logs. We take daily behavior logs. We do their IEP goals. And if different things come up, my paperwork allows for that flexibility, so that we may be going, hey, we didn't see that a week ago, or why are we seeing that today? In collaboration, we collaborate a lot. I'll go and ask, again, my SMART people on this didn't work, this worked. Even, people who may have had my students in the past, hey, is this a behavior that is coming back around or not? And flexibility, we do offer some flexibility to a point, where we can't change our entire routine every day just because, but I know that I was out yesterday and my students went to the Daily Living Museum and knocked it out of the park, apparently, and that is completely something that they have never done before, but they are going to get a pizza party because they did so well. So high expectations. I have the highest expectations of my kids. We don't make any assumption that they can't do it. They can do it, and if they can't do it, what am I doing that may be preventing that? What can I do to get them to that point? Because at some point we can do that. We may just need to back it up a little bit. So one of the questions I was going to ask too is intrinsic motivation and independence. That's, for some kids that I want to earn green, and that's enough intrinsic motivation. And so one of the things that I'm kind of having now is you tell the student to give themselves an A token and they just sit there and they don't do it. So, what would you do to reassess maybe the value of things?
I do, we call it reinforcer development. And what we will do, and it also is nice to do that periodically as well, because there's a push for trying not to have so many edibles with kids. Mm-hmm. So how do we get them away? How do we get a kid that's so food driven to buy into some other things? So thinking about what is the function of their behavior. And so maybe if you have a kid that's attention seeking, instead of edibles, mm-hmm. maybe we want to introduce things that they get to do with us, and taking some data on that, like offer 2 things at a time, see what they choose, circle the one they choose, and then offer that option with something different. And sometimes playing with them and showing them how to do some things, because there might be some toys that they don't like it because they don't know how to use it. So in adapting the attention base, and they're getting that attention through a positive experience, maybe that'll show that, hey, maybe I do like this now. And especially these attention-seeking kids, if you can get them to buy into something with you, then maybe that will then become something that's reinforcing. Or maybe it's just the fact that they get to spend some time with you doing something. It may not be the item itself, but I always try to keep doing that reinforcer development, just because we don't want our kids to satiate. And a lot of times our kids do satiate on their things that we think are really highly reinforcing, but maybe they're just done earning the same Skittle every, 20 or 30 minutes.
So, and I know you, like I said, you are one of the people that taught me data collection. Do you have any additional strategies or data collection methods that you'd recommend to ensure that I'm implementing their plans with fidelity?
Not necessarily how to implement, because you've got the implementation down. My biggest thing, and something that I work with my EAs a lot, is trying to do, weekly is probably too much, but bi-weekly data review, mm-hmm. where I'm looking and I'm drawing those phase lines to say, okay, so we're getting all of these right, or maybe we're not getting any right. So Do we need to make a change in something? Does it need to be how we present the material? Are they mastering these materials? So maybe we want to switch up the materials to see if we can generalize a skill from materials to materials. Is it they're getting all right with this person, but they're getting all wrong with this person? So maybe it's how we're presenting the materials from staff to staff.
Absolutely. Thank you.